Hi, I'm Brad Sweezy, co-founder of Avocado Marketing, and today I want to talk to you about how to laser target new clients who need your help right now. So I've met a lot of attorneys, et cetera. You have a great law firm. I've been to law school. I went to Georgetown. Nowhere in the law school education do they talk about marketing your law firm, especially if you're going to go on a solo path, so to speak. So this is why we designed this webinar for those people, attorneys who really want to grow their practice. They want clients sooner rather than later. So that's what this webinar is designed to do, is how do you find your clients who need your help? So since about 2011 for law firms, we've been focusing on that. We've done it for businesses a lot longer than that. We know exactly how to solve your problem of getting more clients, right? Every lawyer out there wants more clients and they are frustrated. It's expensive depending on what you do, what your practice area is, and you try the traditional approaches, et cetera. And a lot of times it just doesn't work as well as you want it to. Now, why do we do this? I love law firms. John, my co-founder, is an attorney in New York. We have an attorney on staff. I went to law school, like I said, but I did not become a practicing attorney, which I think has made me a little bit happier than some of my friends from law school that I know. So that's why we like, law firms. We like good quality law firms and help them get good quality clients. So we're going to show you where to identify your prospective clients, certain digital marketing tools there to get those clients and, persuading them to pick you over somebody else. And the first part is profiling your audience. A lot of people don't think about this. If you ask a lawyer, sometimes they'll say, well, my ideal client is this, somebody who needs a will, for example. And the reality is that who your ideal client is? Somebody who just wants a will, or do you want more a complicated case? Do you want somebody who has a tremendous amount of assets that needs to, hide and those kind of things? So these are the kind of things what we want to do. You got to profile your audience. So there's two groups of people. There's the passive group is not really looking for anything at the moment. And then there's the active people. And you really want the active searchers as much as possible. So, like I said before, passive, they know about it. Lawyer, they don't really think about you. I mean, nobody really thinks about lawyers until they either getting sued, getting arrested, or need something that, dealt with that involves a lawyer. And the active searchers are somebody who, all right, somebody just got pulled over. I've got a guy I know. I'm down in Southwest Florida. Got hit by the hurricane. Oh, hold on. Somebody's here. Hi, Kevin. Welcome. So, I just began a few minutes ago. So you've got your passive prospects versus the active searchers. And like I was saying before, I know a guy, I'm in Southwest Florida. We got hit by Ian. This guy owns a restaurant. It was devastated, and he's arguing with the insurance companies over it. And he's got a law firm for that. But he's actually delivering Uber. He's doing Uber right now to pay the bills. And last night he entered somebody's house and basically got attacked. So that's an active searcher. Now he's looking for an attorney that's going to help him, probably go after Uber to some extent for that. But we'll see. So that's an active searcher. And those are who the people you want. So I just use this. If you're a personal injury firm in Tucson, right? I'm going to be aware that because I drive a car, I might need a lawyer one day, right? And then if you see a video or something, because there are a lot of law firms who do a lot of Instagram and Facebook, but most people, they're on TikTok to look at crazy cat videos and things like that. I've got my friend from Georgetown who just sends me videos, like YouTube videos, and they have no relation to law, right? So but if I'm walking on a city sidewalk or something and trip and break my arm, then all of a sudden, I'm interested in a sidewalk attorney. Can I sue the city? Is this city property or not city property? That's when you want people into the pipeline. So you want to make sure you can, as much as possible, do the active searchers. And I have this in printed form as well, so we'll go into that.
Media services now.
Kevin, you're not on mute, so in case you want to be muted, you can put yourself on mute. There you go. I had one webinar once where two attorneys were arguing with each other and they weren't on mute. So the best way to profile active searchers is to identify the keywords they use when they need your services. And because you're a lawyer, you think like a lawyer, and you think everybody else approaches the world like a lawyer sometimes. And in reality, you have to find the keywords that people are using when they are searching for your service. And there's different tools there to get you to find things that people are looking for. Like a question, what do people ask? What do you do if you fall on the street? Those kind of things. So you really want to identify those words. And there's a lot of firms out there on the marketing front that will show you, look, you're number one on this keyword, this search term, but it's so obscure that nobody's looking for that. Nobody's ever typing it in, but you're number one. Well, okay, who cares? I want to know what real people are doing. That's when it comes down to. So here's a couple of questions you can ask, and we'll send, we've got a printed version of this as well, but some questions to ask, I'm not going to go over all of them, are, what do you solve? What's the problem? What are some of the situations that help people to choose a lawyer? You go to a funeral, all of a sudden you're going, oh my God, I'm going to die one day. I'm in my 50s now, right? And so we're facing that. The 50-year-olds is questioning, life, etc., planning for the next phase. So those are the kind of questions you want to ask. And it's very difficult in some cases because, you can't offer necessarily special deals as a lawyer, right? Hey, today only Labor Day sale, sue somebody and get 25% off. You can't do that. So you're limited to some extent, but this will help you develop a list of keywords. The second part is assessing your digital presence, right? So you basically want to see, how does your law firm appear in those results when people are searching for those words? Are they appearing somewhere? Chances are you're going to have a tough road to go down in terms of getting at the top of that, and we'll talk about that later. So do it for about 5 different keywords. See where you are, and if you're buried off the first page, then it's very unlikely people are going to see you. And remember, this is a key thing that I think sometimes we forget. When you're looking on Google, for example, you're seeing a picture, a search that's related to you and your profile. You're all these factors that aren't there to show you results. And what you look for and see, and what I look for and see, might, even with the same search terms, might be completely different. So we're getting our own reality, based on our own search engine. And so we have a tool and a couple of tools where we can go, if somebody calls me today and says, I live in Walla Walla, Washington, and I want to see how I come up in a search term, I can use a tool that says I'm in Walla Walla, Washington, and see what happens as though I were there. So there's all the different kind of tools you can use to try to assess accurately where you're appearing. So the next thing is, you've got 2 really different strategies to dominate your local scene, right? There's drill 2, and I'll go over them. There's the organic route, or search engine optimization, or the paid route. Social media, to some extent, is there. The only active thing that happens really on social media is, hey, I need a recommendation, right? I mean, that you'll see that, but you can't really plan for that. You can do some advertising, but generally that advertising is more of a passive thing. It's more of a branding exercise. So these are the 2 main ways you're going to get business for your law firm. So the organic route, which I talked about, is search engine optimization. Everybody likes to talk about search engine optimization, and it's certainly a component of what you do to grow your law firm and get business, but it's a very slow, long road. And most people don't have the patience for it, and in some cases, the budget to do it well, and so it's a component of what we do, but it's not the main component, because from my experience dealing with law firms, you want clients as soon as possible, and preferably at the least cost possible, right? So you write a blog, you write a law firm, and we were just on a call with regarding a client today and going over the top keywords, and it's bicycle accident injury type of thing. And yeah, so you want those keywords in there, but it's a slow road. So here's how you would appear. For example, I'm in Southwest Florida, right? And so I just did personal injury attorney, right? And I basically got where the search results came. So there was, the Google Maps, right? And I'm not putting the ads in here, but just the Google Maps results, right? And they randomly do that. But if you have bad results, you're not going to be in the top 3 of those. And then this organic search results. And you can see you've got a law firm, and there's a couple of legal generation sites as well to try to generate leads. So this is really what I want to talk about is the paid route. So that's where you harness Google Ads. And if you're an attorney and you've tried this on your own, you will have seen that it's very hard to generate results. And as more people move to the paid search engine results, everything goes up. I mean, Google has done very well. So pay-per-click is generally what we do. So this is where you'll appear if you're, and again, it depends on local screened ads, local services ads, and you'll see those, but those are very limited. And I've got a separate webinar on that. You can't have a budget of $50,000 and just always appear. It's just not going to happen. So you got the organic search engine results, which I talked about before, and now you got the pay-per-click. So generally, you'll be at the top of the page or near the top of the page, but you'll definitely be before the organic search results. So here you can see a couple of Anajar Levine's a big personal injury firm down here in Southwest Florida, et cetera. So you can do an ad. Now, which method should you start with? Well, a lot of it depends on, do you have a budget, right? If you don't have a budget, then you're going to start with the organic. But if you want to get the revenue coming in so that you can do more and more, you want to, I think I don't know if Kevin got kicked off or something, but unless there's another Kevin, which is possible. So basically, pay-per-click is more turnkey. We could set up a very, it wouldn't be an involved campaign up front, in an hour, but we could definitely set something up. And within a week, or hopefully in a day or two, you're going to get leads. Some of them are going to be junk. And as you go along, you get better and better at weeding out the junk, because Google, their algorithms loves to connect everything out there with what you do. And sometimes it's not even related. So that's where negative keywords come in. So that's another component. So now you laser target your prospects, right? And so you can do various things depending on what type of law you practice to limit who sees those ads. So that's something that you want to do. You want to target. You can target a geographic area. You can target very often household income. You can target, male, female, and you can target age brackets. And it depends on the industry, et cetera. If there's, housing, for example, you can't do that, those kind of things. So this is pretty much how it works. You basically, it's a real time. So people ask, how much does it cost for this keyword? And it's variable. It depends on so many factors, and Google doesn't tell you all the different factors out there, but you're going to put a maximum, amount you're willing to click, pay per click. And then it's going to start going, the ads. Google's going to make sure your budget gets spent as much as possible. So that's the thing I like to tell people. It doesn't matter if you're going against a Goliath law firm. Yeah, they're going to come up in more searches because they've got budget, but you're going to get your shot at the apple. I mean, it's like fishing, it's like tuna fishing or whatever. You can go on a big boat and, be able to catch, well, if you could catch more than one a day, you can catch, one a day with a big boat, but you can also catch one with a small boat. You still get, your hook's in the water, you get it. So that's the thing with pay-per-click. You want to make sure you've got a budget. And when somebody searches, you're going to see that. They're going to see your ad, and hopefully your ad is more compelling than someone else's ad, and they're going to go to your website or call you. So there are a couple of ways, there's really one way to do the pay-per-click ad campaign. So you're going to create the ad account, you're going to write ads, identify the keywords, and that's crucial. Identify negative keywords, set the amount you're supposed to do. Very simple in theory, right? It's like very simple, but doing it well is a lot more complicated. But if you want to get started, this is pretty much what you have to do. So you create the ads. Google's then going to, scan its database to check if there are any active campaigns associated with that keyword. I need a lawyer to do a will in New York, and you're advertising in New York. Then they're going to do that, and they're going to show ads. Or for this case, when I wrote this, Sarasota accident lawyer, those kind of things. Then they're going to just go boom, 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 ads, and they're going to appear. And you can advertise for different law firms too. And if you've noticed that before, you can type in your law firm, and sometimes there might be an ad from competitors of yours. So, and it doesn't just display the highest bidder. No, they look at a variety of factors. Like they have an ad score. Every ad's got a score. Is it a high quality ad, an okay, good ad? Is it a poor ad? Those kind of things. And that's how they assign it. So the higher the quality score, the better you're going to get the price for it. So Google wants to give people results, what they're looking for, when they're looking for it. That's what Google's the whole goal is. Now Google's changed a little bit of things. They have algorithms now, and they used to have text ads, and you could say, I want to test this particular headline and these different variations. Now you put in 14 or so headlines for every ad you do. So now you got to think of all these different ways to do it, to figure out what's going to be the best one to get you the quality client you want. And it's not necessarily the click-through rate. A lot of times people they identify click-through rate. In reality is you want the conversion rate. And a conversion rate means somebody clicked on the ad and they call you or fill out a form. That's what you're focused on. And a lot of attorneys, most attorneys, they want the calls, right? That's when somebody calls you, there was one marketer who said it's a bleeding neck, right? They call you, their neck's bleeding, versus, my arm's a little sore. So you want the people who are going to call, right? So that's something that's important. So in summary, pretty much to succeed with this pay-per-click, you really just have to identify the keywords, strategize how much you want to bid, create the quality ads, and then you're in business, so to speak. So now I'll talk a little bit about writing the ads. Now, chances are you're going to, you went to law school, you want to be a lawyer, right? You don't want to really write these ads, but to do it, you've got to have a keyword phrase. How is your firm different? How are you going to stand out from that? And, go from there, and a call to action. So you have to decide, are you promoting, your law firm or a particular practice area? Most of the time you want to focus on your firm, but your firm is in there, right? It's the website is there. The keywords, based on the keywords that they're looking for, you want the ad to be relevant. So you want you don't want to have something where you have an ad for employment law discrimination, and then somebody has been searching for I'm concerned my landlord is discriminating against me, those kind of things. So what's the most compelling aspect of what you offer? There's an attorney down here in Florida who's been advertising on billboards, et cetera, as long as I've lived in Florida. And his main thing is Harvard Law graduate. That has been one constant in everything he's done, Harvard Law graduate. And he's been doing it for so long, it's obviously working for him. And that could lead to why I'm a better choice than my competitors. I mean, if you're a small firm, a solo law firm, for example, hey, you know what? I'm going to answer the phone. You're getting me. You're not getting when you call a big firm and, the person who owns a big firm is on the commercials, et cetera. But in reality, you're going to have an associate handling the case. So you can take whatever you have and make it an advantage. You just have to, be a little flexible on that. So what I generally do is when you start a thing, you want to run various different options. You might say, well, I'll do one ad with 14 options. I might have 3 ads, so now I've got 42 different options going. So the whole goal is finding that total thing that works well for you to convert active searchers into clients. So if you want clients quickly, you generally are going to do something like pay-per-click. That's what you're going to do. A lot of more of approaches are generally more passive, right? I mean, if you've got a billboard, for example, well, maybe somebody's looking at the billboard and gets in a car accident or something, but it's really passive type of thing. But if you want somebody who's actively searching, this is what you do is pay-per-click. So I just want to take a look at some examples here, okay? And I told you before about focusing on conversion rates. So that's the thing you want. The percentage of people who click on your ad, go to your website, who actually call you or email you, okay? So this is a personal injury firm, a client of ours. So our conversion rate is 12.82%. So, 10% or so, right? A little bit better than actually, 28% better than 10%. But the average rate for the legal profession of conversions is 7%. Now, that's 84% higher than the average law firm, so it matters. I gotta take a drink. Sorry, I got an itch. If you're spending the same amount of money and you're converting at a rate higher than your competition, then you get stronger, you get bigger. And that's why you want to have conversion rates that exceed your competitors. This is a DUI traffic law firm, mainly DUI cases. Their conversion rate, 10.48%, and again, 6.9%. It's 50% higher, and so especially when you're dealing with DUI cases, et cetera, you really want to be there, if somebody's in prison or jail, whatever, or the day after, they're probably on their phone. They're not dragging themselves to a computer if they got, out of jail, et cetera. And this is a criminal law firm example is, 11.84%. So it's 65% higher than the average law firm. So as you can see, it all depends on the practice areas you want to focus on. And I should probably put an estate planning one on there too, for you to see. Now, you can do this for most practice areas. Most, you can do some kind of pay-per-click for most practice areas. I mean, commercial litigation, you can do real estate sometimes, you'll get some good results from that. So there's all kinds of things you can do, and you can control your budget. So you don't have to spend, $50,000 a month, but you do have to spend something because let's face it, the law is expensive, right? You generally will make a good amount of money. You'll probably spend a lot of money, but it's all contextual. If you're selling a $10 it used to be a $2 hamburger, but $10, you're not going to spend $100 to get somebody in, but you are going to spend $1 or so. You can't ignore that. So, we'll send you a follow-up email on this stuff, but if you're interested in a free consultation, which is what we find is often the best way, so you can have can talk. I can learn a little bit about you, can take a look at your website and give you some ideas. And, some people go with us right away. Some people are locked in, but then we just systematically go out there and get you business. So I got a chat thing here. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, okay. All right, thanks. Yeah, so somebody got logged off and logged back on. So basically, if you have any questions, you can chime in and ask them. We'll send you a follow-up email. I know a lot of times people don't do that. Before I end, I'll tell you a little bit more about myself. Obviously, I went to Georgetown. I went to the Air Force Academy, graduated with honors. I worked at the highest levels, including the Food and Drug Administration. So I tell you that because I'm very systematic in what we do. And I like to, as much as possible, measure results, because the more we can measure what's working, the better off everybody is. And if something's not working, then you stop doing it. And if something's working well and you want to grow, you spend more money doing it. That's pretty much the approach we use. And we were branded, PR for Lawyers into Advocati Marketing. So this is, our new thing. And if you have any questions, you can call me at that number, 941-564-9163, or you can email me there and we'll follow up with an email as well. Well, thank you for joining us. I know if you're like me watching a webinar, sometimes you're doing something else at the same time. I expect that. That's why we send you the follow-up information.